So I'm back to the Unimog. And so what I've done is I really wanted to add something to the back of this. So I printed like a prototype, basically a prototype bed, just so I could cover most everything on the back. And so essentially this is what I'll build on, and I just got to figure out how to make this more of like a realistic bed you might see on a Unimog. It doesn't really have to like actually exist. I want it to be like kind of functional, I guess, but mainly just to hide everything in the back. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, figuring out what all to put on the back. So now that I have this prototype bed done, I could either model a part to go over this, or I could just add it to my model in Blender and then print it all as one piece. Not really sure yet what I want to do. I think I need to move these shock positions back a little bit. I think these kind of side plates are as long as I can get it because the rear tires move, they turn, so I don't really want them any closer than that. Next, oh, and then on this side, yeah, I left a little slot cut out so I could get to the on-off switch. This actually fell off my wall, and it broke this smokestack off. It broke my snorkel off. It broke out both of the like side window bars that come up here. It cracked the A-pillar right here, so that's actually off, like it's not connected on this side. It broke this whole top of the snorkel off, and in two pieces. I actually reprinted just the top. I guess it was about 7 feet off the ground when it fell, so a little damage on that, but you know, I guess all the scuffs or whatever over time, as long as I can keep the majority of it together, it'll look, you know, it'll just kind of go with the weathering. But you know, this kind of bothers me. I'll probably end up printing another one of these with thicker the window beams. Well, I don't know whatever you call those, but a little bit thicker just so they're a little bit more durable. Okay, so I've made some progress on the Unimog bed. I was originally going to use this like toolbox that opens up, and I still might, but I went a kind of a different route while I was trying to figure out how to add to this, basically. So here is the second iteration. So this, you can see kind of, you know, it's the same basic thing, but I added like a covering area for the top of both of those, where the motor comes out and where the receiver comes out. And then I just kind of had I added some holes through it so I could just add some screws, like rivets almost. And then I decided to put a little spot on the top to carry a spare tire, and then a cutout still for that antenna. Oh, you know, something else also. So instead of the toolbox, I actually made a little, I don't know, lidless container on that side. And then on this side, there's a cutout right here. And then I just added some things that, I don't know, I just thought looked cool. Not realistic in any way, but it will work to cover the entire bed, and then it'll give me a spot to carry a spare tire right here. So this is how this works, is it just slips down over here, and then just clips down. So that's how the bed will look. And I actually think that looks pretty cool. It covers everything except for the antenna, but the back has this, like, it's cut out so my shocks can still compress. They can bottom out all the way, and the bed can come down flat so it can ride as low as possible. And then the way the spare tire works, let me grab a spare tire. Here's a spare tire. These are actually the ones I'm going to put on the new Unimog, the new 6x6. I'm just waiting on another set of wheels, and that'll be another part. But anyway, this would go here. Oh, you know what? I think I need to slide that back a little bit. Get this body off. Okay, come on here. All right, so that actually clips on there, so it's a good fit. I left a hole in this so I could drill a screw down through there to just permanently hold on a tire. And then the body would just clip down like that. So that's how it would look. So spare tire rides there. Everything with the exception of the antenna is covered. I think that looks really cool. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I should probably mount this. My tire's coming off now. Let me actually mount this permanently. Semi-permanently. Not really permanently. Just with some Gorilla tape, which, where did I put that? Aha! Okay, so tape's on. I'm pretty sure I can get away with just anchoring it to those two spots. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if we can mount this. So that's about where it'll sit. So Gorilla Tape, 60 seconds, you gotta hold it in place. This stuff is super strong. In my experience though, it's not as strong as they say it is, but it does work really well, especially for parts on these vehicles. So there we go. Okay, so let's put the tire on. I can't use this tire though. Well, we'll just use it for now. The placement of this rear tire thing was a little bit off, just a little bit. I would prefer to have a little bit more room in between the tire and the body, but that's where the spare would go. So now what I need to do is weather this bed so that it matches the body. I should probably come up with some way of like basically blending this rear in with this cab. Covers up the wiring, the motor, the receiver. Is it just me or do I need more lighting in here? Yeah, that works. So that is the new and improved bed cover. It's not like it's actually for something, but... And then the tire would fit over it, just like that. I don't know, what do you think? I'll really have to think about what else I want to do to kind of blend that in. For sure gonna weather it. Actually, yeah, let's just, I'll just go ahead and weather it right now. And then we'll find a spare tire I can actually keep on this that's not going on something else. Okay, so I have this like stock tire I could use as the spare. I got to thinking about that. What if I had like the tire angled? I could do straight up and down. That kind of looks funny to me though. I've also seen some vehicles carry a spare like sideways, kind of down on the side, or I guess back here. That actually looks alright, but it puts all the weight of the tire right there. So I could, you know, make some version that has the spare tire there, here, or I could keep it flat too. I guess I could have two mounts, two mounting points. Kind of like the way that looks. I mean, it's not a whole bunch of weight if I keep the tire small on the back. You know, I probably should have weathered it before I put it on here. I wonder if I can get that off real quick. Whoa. Okay, I took that off. It's going to be much easier to weather it while it's off. Okay, first coat's on. So we're going to wait 15 minutes in between the primer, 15 minutes in between the iron, and then probably a half an hour in between the rust activator. Second coat. Okay, second coat is on. Okay, so now we're done with this. And we can move on to this. First coat of the iron paint. It definitely doesn't spread on like paint. Okay, first coat is on. Let's wait for 15 minutes and then I'm going to put the next one on. Second coat of the iron oxidizing paint. So now we have 2 coats of the primer, 2 coats of the iron oxidizing paint. Okay, so we're done with this. We can move on to this. Okay, I need to clean this mat anyway, so I'm going to spray this right here. And we'll see what we can get in 15 minutes. I still see some wet spots here. I'm curious to know what happens if we don't wait the whole 12 hours. I'm going to do a time lapse of this. I'll try to do a time lapse of both coats without moving it. I'll try not to move it. I usually end up moving it because I have to spray all sides, but I'll try not to move it. Alright, so this is how it turned out. We'll see if it matches the vehicle. The vehicle's a little bit more torn up, but this is essentially the new back end, or the new old back end. So I'm going to put it on it and see how it looks. Actually, I'm going to clean this up first. Okay, let's see how this looks on there. So we've got to get some more tape so I can mount it, but yeah, let me mount this. Okay, let's see if we can get this on there. Alright, there she is. Could still use some cleaning up, but it looks dirty at the very least. So that is pretty cool. Spare tire will go on the back. I think that looks pretty badass. Yeah. Yeah, let me turn it on and just drive it around in a circle. Oh yeah. That's pretty cool. So that is pretty badass. I think the only thing that I think I might modify is I might add something in between the bed and the cab that is kind of just like sits up a little bit to hide the separation between the cab and the bed, and then I might move that spare tire mount and make it a tiny bit longer maybe. Actually, I probably won't make it longer, but I might move that. I don't know. I kind of like the way it looks on the back. I guess it just looks like more normal. Yeah, it could like kind of be off to the side or just right there. I don't know. I might actually get a matching tire just so it matches. So that'll be a little bit bigger. So anyway, that's the new bed for this 4-wheel steering Unimog. I think it turned out pretty cool. I just kind of I really like, you know, watching the vehicles kind of just go through the different stages of completion. So we're getting closer to finishing this one. There might be a couple modifications to this bed that I want to make. I think that's going to be it though for this video, until I can figure out, you know, what sort of modifications or changes I want to make to continue on with this. So that's really, you know, the next thing that I wanted to do with this is just put something on the back to kind of cover everything up. And this is good enough for me. I think it looks cool, and that's all that matters. So, until next time.